Let's talk about faith by Reverend Anne Ahokangas. Here's a great quote by Rumi. If your knowledge of fire has been turned to certainty by words alone, then seek to be cooked by the fire itself. Don't abide in borrowed certainty. There is no real certainty until you burn. If you wish for this, sit down in the fire. The reward of seeking faith is the gift of more faith, or at least that is what I hope for. Writer Ernest Holmes shares, an idea has no real value until it becomes an experience. You may have begun your journey towards more faith with a borrowed certainty. Have you ever heard it said that faith is the highest expression of belief or confidence? It is that something in a person which says, I believe in possibilities of things I can't see. Borrowed certainty is equivalent to borrowed opinion. In the past, you may have heard some public conversation, read an article on the internet, or been stubbornly sticking to some traditional, maybe even unconscious belief, and then never questioned or changed those borrowed beliefs to do your own experimentation. The poet Rumi's words challenge you to move beyond public theory into embracing active participation in your own personal spiritual reawakening. And as a consequence on this journey, yes, you may stumble, fall, and even feel like giving up. There is the promise of experiencing satisfaction when something mysteriously works out. There is the promise of the possibility of transforming your experiences from what you once thought impossible and a limitation to true possibility thinking. You may even discover that you can do far more than you ever thought possible. You may even find that even with a small amount of faith, amazing results become a reality. And once you know what you know, you can begin to embrace uncertainty with a real certainty. You can bear witness to having actually walked the walk of asking Spirit for help and guidance, and it has been provided. It is what some call a mystical experience when the answers and guidance shows up. Deliberately deciding to release the constant advice from parents, teachers, and leaders who are only communicating things to you from their own limited perspective can be so freeing. This new awareness and purpose can also create a kind of isolation, as it may not feel safe to share with those of little faith. To be completely audacious takes courage. To loudly proclaim your faith is the ultimate in vulnerability. So here's another quote from Fillmore, Atom Smashing Power of the Mind. I believe in possibilities of things that I cannot see. I believe in the possibility of divine mind doing in this age right now everything that was ever done in any age. When we believe this and hold to it, putting aside all doubt and whatever suggests failure, the thoughts of faith begin to accumulate substance and fulfillment follows. It will never be enough to borrow the certainty of another's exhilarating experience of a faithful giving and sharing practice, for instance, until we actually give as a way of life. Are you ready to live in a state of conscious awareness and expectancy of your good, of your divine connection? I know my faith is growing because of my expectancy to see or experience results not yet visible. My increased faith shows up as a general sense of joyous anticipation. I, more often than not, expect things to go well. I expect to be guided and prompted to know how to respond moment by moment. I expect to easily act deliberately and intentionally, even if the world around me shows no evidence yet of what it is I'm hoping for. Living in a state of positive expectancy, I become a positive force in the world because I have faith. Rumi reminds us that experience is our best teacher. How will we ever know our capabilities until we sit in the fire of involvement? And so it is.